All right, hang on. All right, sorry for the late start, but welcome aboard.
Yep, we're here.
Hello. Thank
So
you for
nice to,
having me.
and nice to meet you finally. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
I
Thank
kind
you
of
so
met.
much
Yeah, I
for
think you
having me
were.
on.
Yeah, you were on another show. I think we figured out it was Three Beards, I believe,
Yes.
and those guys are great. I was a supporter,
I
and
big fan, big
yeah,
fan,
yeah,
big fan. I call me like fangirl. I'm just a big fan of Craig's. Originally it was Craig and Austin and
yeah,
Chris. So but I love Brian. I love all the new guys. They're wonderful, and I will forever be thankful for them for giving me that opportunity.
yeah. And I'm gonna miss them because they're gonna be on break for a little while now because Craig had gotten a so-called promotion at his job,
Ah,
so he doesn't have
well
the time
that's
to do the show. So,
uh,
and I think Chris also has some family stuff going on. That pretty much it was only Craig basically doing this.
yeah, I mean, I guess we take the good with the bad when we get
Yeah.
these changes, right? He
So
gets the
they'll be back
promotion, which is
though,
good, but
and Craig will be on Joey's show Into the Outer Realms on Thursday night every other week. He'll be on, so about twice a month he'll be on,
I'll
and
have to.
they do a show called Sinister Mysteries, and they talk about all kinds of weird stuff that we don't want to know about.
I like weird stuff. I'm all about weird stuff. That's great.
So now, in your bio, can you kind of tell us your bio that you had on your Instagram?
Yeah.
I
Basically, basically, I say just, but I don't say it to mean it like the way it sounds. But I'm a stay at home mom. Um, who a few years back I realized that my abilities are not meant to just be kept to myself. They're just not. They're not. They did not give me the abilities I have and the knowledge that I have for me to just keep it all to myself. It's meant to be shared.
yeah,
So they were like, hurry up, get used to doing stuff for people. We're doing this.
yeah,
And Craig had me come on and kind of tell my story. Because it was odd. Um, I feel like a lot of people go through this when they go through a spiritual awakening. Um, it often comes with it often comes in the guise of mental health
hmm,
issues. I really When I say I really thought I was going batty, I mean I really thought I was losing my mind.
yeah,
um and obviously everything that you tell the doctors, oh, like I'm hearing my name being called and I'm hearing whispering in the other room, but there's nothing there, and I'm hearing music but there's nothing playing, and they're just like checking off boxes, and they're like, oh yeah, she's crazy, she's crazy,
but then
she
they'll
needs
tell
some
you,
mood stabilizers, we need to give her some tranquilizer.
but won't they sit there and tell you, oh, you're okay, don't worry about that. That's no worry there, you know.
Well, the one thing that they did say, they were like, well, people that are schizophrenic, the thing schizophrenic, and I can say this with some kind of like actual knowledge of this because
Yeah,
my brother is diagnosed schizophrenic.
okay.
um and it's pretty bad. Like he was missing last summer for
Oh
a
wow.
while. And yeah, it was not good. The police would not look for him because he's an adult and he left willingly, and it was a mess. And it's just that the doctors always told me, like, when a person is schizophrenic, the voices that they hear and the urges that they have are generally reckless. They're reckless. They are, um, not just an endangerment to themselves, but often, they're violent, or they do stuff that is just, in a sense, dark, and just completely out of character. And they think that it's normal. It doesn't seem like anything to them. So when I would tell the doctors about these things, they'd ask me like, well, do these voices ever tell you to do anything? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. It's a hard thing to even talk about with people that believe what we're talking about, let alone talking about it to people that are trained to believe anything but. Okay. To talk to people that are trained to believe that it's all in our heads. So when I said no, like, they don't tell me to like go, harm animals or do anything to myself. They don't tell me to do anything weird like that. They were like, well, we don't think you're schizophrenic, but I did have schizophrenic tendencies in my chart at one point.
Yeah.
So, and I know for a fact I'm not. It's not that. It's never been anything like that. Aside from when I had some postpartum depression, it's always been my abilities trying to break through and me not understanding them nor being able to control them, because how do you control something if you don't even understand what is happening to you?
Right. I agree with that. And I
So
know
we
that.
want to say hello to RL, Charles, and
Hi, guys.
welcome.
And
Welcome. Thank you.
and what Upi has called us here in on this channel and in our group, Upi has nicknamed us Earthlings.
Was it?
Like Earthlings, but Earthlings.
Oh,
All right, so it looks like this. All right, if you read that.
okay. I see it.
And then
Yeah.
this is my bracelet that I.
Oh, that's fun.
If you want one, we can figure out how to get one to you.
Yeah, definitely.
You like to wear
Definitely.
stuff like that.
I mean, for what it's worth, I could always make a small TikTok and just give you guys a shout out and let people know, to come and follow you guys or whatnot.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so you can explain all that before you leave. We're gonna have you give you a shout, or you'll be able to do a shout out for your channels that you're on and how they can get a hold of you.
Sure.
And if they need you to, do help them with anything or whatever.
Absolutely.
So we were gonna have a talk tonight about spiritual abilities. Now, part of my idea about this whole channel and this show. Okay, I didn't really start doing this show weekly until probably a few years ago, maybe about 7 years ago. I was just messing around doing some, a show here and a show there, not really serious, kind of like, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to do that. Finally, I said, I'm all in. I'm paying for it. I'm going to do it. Everything costs money, right? So if you want to do it right,
nothing's cheap.
And if you want to do it right, you gotta pay for it.
I was just gonna say nothing's cheap, and if you want it done properly,
yeah, you gotta put out to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And so then I started doing it once a week. Now I was already doing the audio portion on my Mixlr channel on the radio, and I used to do interviews like we'd use Skype for the video, but we wouldn't publish the video anywhere. We'd just use Skype and then put the audio through the Mixlr channel, and I had like almost 60 shows of that.
Oh wow,
and I interviewed some pretty big people in the UFO field. Okay,
that's so great.
And
that's so exciting.
I interviewed Calvin Parker, if you know that name.
It does sound familiar.
And I interviewed Terry Lovelace a couple times. And so
the names do sound familiar, but I would be lying if I said I know exactly who they are.
And you might not remember the names either. I don't remember half the names.
I'm better with faces.
Yeah. And like I'll see somebody else say, "Oh, I know you," and I'll say hi to them. I'll smile at them. Like,
Oh, I live in a very small town. There's been times where I'm out and about and I see people and they're like, "Oh, hi, April," and I'm just like, "Hi."
hi.
And my son's like, "Mom, who is that?" And I'm like,
I don't know.
"No clue. I have no idea."
I'm
He's
the
like,
same
"You're like a
way too.
celebrity." Not really.
I'm the same way too.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know how small of a town.
Odd.
How
Like
small.
my kid looks at me and thinks I'm like a celebrity or something. I'm like, it's really not like that, buddy. It's just it's a small town.
How small is it?
I mean, my graduating class was under 100 people.
Oh wow,
So
that's small.
yeah.
Well, my population here, residents here, 349 in my town.
Oh wow.
349. Now,
Okay.
I graduated in California from a high school in a city called Pleasanton, California.
Hmm.
All right. And we had close to 2,000 in our
Oh wow.
graduating class in 1979. So,
Wow. That's insane. That's insane. I mean, 10 miles from here, the school district 10 miles from here, they have like graduating classes up to close to like, 800-900.
Yeah.
But our little town, it's roughly about 100 probably.
All right. Well, at least you feel comfortable where you are, so that's where you stay.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah, it gets hot in the summertime and it sucks, but anyway, that's the way it is.
It's already hot and it got hot quick. I was melting before the show started. That's why I was running a little behind. I had put my air conditioner in. I had to shut it off so I could hear you guys better and so that you could hear me.
Thank you for making all those adjustments for us.
I will sacrifice it all for you.
So anyway, one of the main keys about my show here, though, when I first created it and created my name,
12 when I looked up.
Yeah, and I came up with expanding our awareness, right?
Yeah.
Expanding our awareness through conversation, just like we're doing here. You know? So you might not agree with what I'm saying. I don't ever want you to agree with me. Never. I mean, unless you do.
I'm a fan of a healthy debate. I'm perfectly fine with having different opinions and whatnot. That's fine because what I've come to learn from being an actual practicing, I don't just read tarot cards. I'm an actual practicing witch. And I know this is like a hard concept for a lot of people to understand. And I know that a lot of people are like, "Oh, she thinks she's Harry Potter." No, I don't actually. It's nothing like that. It's just about understanding the energies that are in everything and understanding the energies that are within us and knowing how to manipulate certain energies and elements to help us to have things go more favorable for us.
Yeah.
I guess you could say, or things like protection. You pull in more light, and it's just it's something that I'm forever learning. I am a forever student, but I do offer like mentoring, I guess you would say, to help people.
You offer guidance, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question for Uthi. Yeah, so I knew I wouldn't have to come.
Revolve around your nurturing things.
And hello, Andy.
Okay, what visions have you had that revolve around your nurturing instincts and belief in the supernatural or spiritual instincts? Okay, so as far as visions go, I am more of a. So what's visions? Funny enough, we were like what we're going to talk about is the different clairs. So we might as well start talking about it. right? So with that, that is one of the most common ones, and that is clairvoyance. Okay. And that's essentially a clear seeing and like getting visuals. A lot of people have this ability like in their dreams. Okay.
Mhm.
This is a lot of lucid dreaming. Okay. People that have prophetic dreams. Okay. A lot of times this is where their clairvoyance is most active. Fun fact about me and my weird self is I don't dream. Like it's not that I don't dream. I'm lucky if I remember anything.
Yeah.
So when I get visions, they almost show them to me as if it's a memory, or as if it's for example, if I'm doing a reading, or if I'm with somebody, and my grandfather pops into my mind. Okay, my grandfather that's passed on pops into my mind. But my guides are like, not pap pap. It's not him, but he popped into my mind, and I'm with somebody, or I'm reading them. Like, to me, they're letting me know that there is a grandfather like figure with them, because that's
Okay.
who he was to me. So that is the way that they will show me things. Sometimes they will do these things in a manner that will get across to you. However, they know that you will um, notice something, and pay attention to something, and that something will be significant to you. That's the way that they will show it to you.
Okay.
There's been times where I was picking up on things, and they would show me scenes of movies that I'm familiar with, because it's all about just getting across to me the idea or a concept of something. But there was a little girl. There was a little girl. I actually just made a video about this maybe a week or so ago on my TikTok. I said, if you see something or feel something, like say something. During the pandemic, when the kids had the choice to go back to school or to stay homeschooled, cyber schooled, I kept my kids at home. And their classes were not very big. They would have to like log in the morning, and then check in a couple times throughout the day. And then at the end of the day. And there was always this little girl, and it was more than just, there was nobody ever with her. She was always by herself. Like, before school started, we had a meeting to get the iPads and whatnot, and they said, even if you're doing cyber school, we still want you to be up and dressed and ready, like you're going to school, to keep you in routine, to help keep them from getting depressed and stuff like that. So my kids were always up and cleaned and ready, and I was always up with them. I was helicopter mom. So I was there for every check-in. So I would be sitting off to the side, so I wasn't in plain view, but I would always be watching. And this little girl was always, not only was she always just like by herself, sometimes it was almost like she was whispering, like she was trying to not wake people up and whatnot. Sometimes you could hear people in the background, like adults, like going back and forth and whatnot. And after about a month or so, and the teacher actually embarrassing her, asking her like why she was late the one day, I called the principal and I said, listen, I don't know how to even put this, because I never seen anything wrong. Communication without words through pictures and triggers seems sensible. Exactly. It's just that. It's however we can understand it. So like with this little girl, I was honest with the principal. I said, it's not about the things that I see. It's the feeling that I get. Like, she's always so timid, and just it's almost like she was afraid of like getting scolded and stuff. It was more than just embarrassment from the teacher and whatnot. And she was always by herself and she was never cleaned up. There was some days where she still had like, like drool, like dry crusties on her face, like kids do, or like little eye boogies and stuff. And my heart just broke. And I said, it's not about what I seen and whatnot. It's what I don't see. And it's how I feel when this little girl like comes on the screen. And one thing that I didn't mention in the TikTok that I made was, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the song Concrete Angel by Martina McBride.
I've heard about many a times.
That music video popped into my mind, and it was just like, that's all I needed to know. Like, there's something going on. So I was honest with the principal. I said, it's not about what I see, it's what I don't see. I said, and it worries me. I said, and maybe it's nothing, but I would rather say something and it be checked and find out that it was nothing than not say anything.
Not say anything, yeah.
Right. At that point, I shut my mouth because I start rambling when I get nervous, in case you didn't notice.
That's okay. You can ramble with your show.
Thank you. So I stopped, took a breather, and I'm trying not to get emotional. The principal said, April, I just want to say immediately, thank you so much for trusting your instincts and intuition with this, because we have been watching for a while. And they even tried to contact CPS. But what they were told is they needed essentially like a third party, an outsider, somebody outside of the school faculty, to notice that something was off for them to go in and investigate anything. And from me making that phone call, they were able to get CYS to go in and check for that little girl. And she was out for a few days, and then she came back, and and then it wasn't too long after school was out for the summer, and I had always kept this little girl in my thoughts, like always. Like it was like I always just like hoped that she was doing well. And it was so random because I didn't know this little girl. I just know her first name. And long story short, a few years passed, and I was chaperoning for a school field trip last year for my son, and they're in the same grade. And this little girl, she never even seen my face on the screen. I wasn't a student. Like, my face didn't need to be on the screen. So she never seen Logan's mom, nor does CYS tell them who called or anything of the sort. So this little girl had no way of knowing what I had done. Okay. No way. But when I tell you, this little girl gravitated to me in a manner that the only way I can explain is there is some kind of soul connection between me and this little girl, that she felt that motherly feeling. And it was like she felt safe. Her exact words to me was, Logan is so lucky to have you as his mommy. If you were my mommy, I would do anything to make her happy.
Right.
And and I just, it's just, and it was like, I made the video a few weeks back when I did, because I had taken my son's medicine into the school, as I do every month. And I happened to see a little box sitting on the nurse's station with like some deodorant and some girl products, like maybe like if she doesn't take care of it at home, she gets to go into the nurse and like clean up and stuff like that, which I think's I love it. I love it. You know, I actually personally thanked the nurse, and she was like, "Oh, do you know this girl?" And I said, "Kind of." Like, and it's just so odd, but yeah, I do know her. And when I tell you that little girl and her soul knows me, like, yeah, that was one of the more profound ones. There was, I've worked on missing persons cases. It was a few years back, right before the pandemic, and then right after. I was going to and from every weekend for about probably 2 months and whatnot. And we were just kind of scoping the area and picking up energies that we felt. And long story short, I was drawn to this one house that was by the cemetery that we were walking and like looking around, because one of the last places she was seen was in the cemetery walking. And when I pointed this house out, like, her mother and her family just turned white as a ghost. It turned out that that was the alleged killer's mother's house, and it had actually been searched already. It had already been searched by the police and whatnot, and they said that they did not find anything. I begged 2626 when I looked up on the thing. I begged them. I said, do like whatever you can do. May have met each other in astral. I do believe that. I do believe that. It's I'm so sorry. I just like lost track of what I was saying.
You were talking about getting them to look in that house by the cemetery.
Yeah, and then we
Yes,
want to
yes,
welcome we did want
yes,
to welcome Rockstar. So yeah, you can continue.
yes. I said, I would like do whatever you can do to try to get that cadaver dog that they now had that we were working with. I said, whatever you can do to try to get that cadaver dog over there. I feel her. There is something significant over there that was missed. Something small, but something significant. And I'll be damned if it didn't end up becoming winter. And at that point, we can't do searches. Right. We can't be out and walking around searching for hours in the cold, in the snow and whatnot. So I was not able to go up for a few months. And then by the time like spring had rolled around, probably like a month or so in, don't like quote me on the times frames here, but roughly, I got news that they were able to get another search warrant for the property, and they did in fact find something, and he is being convicted of her murder.
Wow. But that's good to know that you closed or helped close that case.
2020 when I looked up. Yes. Yeah. The first time I met her mother, Kathy. Oh, Kathy, if you watch this, I love you so much. She was just the sweetest woman in the world. And the first time I met her mother, I told her, I said, I promise. I promise. Yeah. Like, we're going to find out, like, what happened to her. Because Kathy was also sick. She has cancer. So it was very important to her that she seen something happen before she left this earth, and rightfully so. So, there's things that I don't tell everybody about, but I have lots of people that can confirm everything. The first time I showed up to help with the search, I had a list of names, and the top 3 names that I had was the name of the supposed killer, his best friend, and his best friend's girlfriend.
Wow.
So that day, after the search had ended and like all the volunteers had went home, they asked if I would come back to their house to talk with them some more, because they had a lot of people work with them, and not very many of them were able to give them details that I was able to give to them, details that was not released, and only details that they knew, and the police and the people that did it. So April projects a strong empathetic feel. You can sense it. Yes. I've often said it's almost like a moth to a flame or light.
So you can read that line you have beside the one that says clear empathy. Read that line that describes clear empathy.
So clear empathy is feeling others' emotions. It's
and then you see what you can swear on here if you want to. So on the last word of that statement, where you feel others' emotions, and then
it says feel others' emotions and shit. Like picking up on the way that others are feeling before they may even say anything. It's it's pulling up to somebody's house and getting excited and happy and walking into their house and them telling you they just got off the phone and they just got a new job and they're so excited, and you already felt it before you got in there. It's also being with somebody and asking them if they're okay, and them saying I'm fine, and you knowing that they're not fine because for some reason your energy feels lower than it did prior to.
You notice that trick in animals a lot. Dogs,
absolutely.
Dogs mostly. I don't know if cats really have that, but I know dogs do for sure.
Cats. I have more cats than I want to admit to. I have 4 cats. I have 3 black cats. They're my boys, my triplets. They were all from the same litter. Hades, Loki, and Odin. And then I have my golden girl, my little orange kitty. Her name's Princess Freya, and they are incredible. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not stuff that I don't see, because trust and believe there is, because I've made it very clear. Don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you and freak me out. Like, I catch you, I'm sending your ass away. You're gone. You're out of here. I will send you away first and then think about what the hell you were after. Like, where I will just immediately, like, I know I'm not messing with that. Like, they know, do not show yourself to me in a manner that will frighten me, because I will shut down. I will banish them from where I am and send them back to wherever they come from, before I stop to think, like, was that something bad? Was that something that I should have worried about? Because in my mind, no, like, it shouldn't have popped up and scared me like that, the bastard, so yeah, they know better than to do foolish stuff like that. I won't be having it. How has your practice of witchcraft helped you or others in order to adapt to the day-to-day stresses and challenges in life? So for me personally, and a lot of other people, like I said, so often, people that are awakened, spiritually awakened, and people that are awakening, these things manifest as depression, as anxiety, as out of control emotions that you just can't control. Like, you're in the grocery store and you're perfectly fine. Suddenly you feel irritated and you feel like you want to snip at somebody, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with me? And sure enough, there's like, somebody standing like 5 feet down, aggressively texting with an angry look on their face, and you just know somebody on the other side's like going through it right now. Like
Yeah.
somebody is getting it, and because they are not happy, and not only do they not look happy, and you can see that, but like I felt it too. Like I felt it because suddenly I got irritated because I couldn't find the freaking cheese I was looking for quick enough. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Like, why am I feeling this way? That is Claire empathy. That is feeling others' emotions, like with or without trying to, whether you know them or not. Right. And so, and then we said about clairvoyance is like a clear seeing. And then we have like clairaudience, which is a clear hearing. Okay. And when I say a clear hearing, I always try to explain to people, for me, I don't necessarily hear stuff in a physical manner. It doesn't sound like, I mean, I have, and I don't like it. I don't like it when it sounds like it's right there. I have heard stuff almost in my ear, or, you know, it sounds like it's close. But most of the time, for me, with my clairaudient, when it's working, it's like I hear it almost like you're hearing a song replaying in your head. Okay. It's like you hear it, but it's only like the memory of something, or it's like it's in your mind. It almost like crosses over with telepathy then, you know, with like the communication with thoughts and being able to like read other people and other beings' minds. Because people that have telepathy, some of them are, you know, the animal whisperers that we see, that can communicate with animals and stuff. It's no words are needed, you know.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I had a black cat learn to use her extra toes as thumbs. That is so great. That is so great. Like a little raccoon, like picking up their food. That's so funny. I used to have a cat named Rufus. She did not have the fancy thumbs or anything like that. But that cat was smart. She knew that if she applied, like, you know, if their paws like this, she knew if she applied pressure that it would open it up and retract. And she would like grab her food, or my food, I should say. She would grab like some chicken off my plate and she would eat it like a flippin' squirrel. She was just so smart, so smart. Cats are incredibly intelligent. And when I say that my boys, I'm surprised that they're not doing it, to be honest. And now that I said something about it, they might do it. Because I said something about it. Maybe they're letting me know that they're going to be starting their stuff, but they'll climb up on the pillows, like behind me, and just stare up at the ceiling and just meow. And I'm like, tell them it's bedtime. We're not doing this right now. I don't want to do this, because they'll just scream like little banshees because they see. So so there's a few that like a lot of people I feel like don't know of as much, like as far as the clairs. There's something called clairgustance.
Yeah, what is that?
So I think that I'm saying it right. Clairgustance is essentially a taste. It's having the ability to taste something that isn't there. Okay. And this is not one that I'm familiar with. I will be honest. Like, this is not that I know of, not that I can remember, but
would that
immediately my guides are like, it would be like equivalent to maybe tasting like iron or metal, like blood, like having a taste in your mouth, because somebody maybe before they passed, there was blood in their mouth.
I was going to say, would that be usable in a remote viewing?
Remote viewing. So remote viewing is more of the clairvoyance. That is more of the clairvoyance. That is the clear seeing. astral projection.
Yeah.
I would consider that clairvoyance as well.
Okay.
Astral projection. People that are able to really put their energy anywhere that they want to put it, and if they're able to see anything, whether it's with their eyes, because there's times when I see orbs, I see them all the time, everywhere, even in my home. My home is warded, shielded, on lockdown. Not a damn thing is getting in or out without me freaking knowing it. But I still see orbs and stuff, because the facts are is I do welcome in the light and beings of the light and my loved ones and stuff. So if, as long as they're something that is of the light and not there for anything malicious, and they're there to help or watch over us or something of the sort, they can stay. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I won't even charge them rent. It's fine.
I
It's
tried to
fine. I don't
ask.
charge my freeloading cats anything. They can stay too. It's fine.
Yeah, I
Just
tried
don't
to.
scare me.
I
You
asked
know?
I have house spirits here, you know, and I won't go
Yeah.
into detail. If you ever wanted a remote view, let me know and you can check for yourself. But I have a few regulars that are here. One actually helped cross over. What happened was I had this one that was kind of like being really restless and making a lot of noise, and
Mhm.
that's what I'm hearing now. I'm hearing some kind of noise here that's not normal because I'm talking with you, of course. Every time I do my show, there's always activity here.
I wasn't gonna say
But
anything. I was thinking
you
activity
were
tends
hearing
to
that.
pick
You were
up.
hearing that too. Okay, all right.
It's around Beltane too.
Yeah.
Beltane is essentially the spring equivalent of, it's exactly 6 months from from October 31st, Halloween. So it is
A lot of
it's
activity.
on
Yeah.
the opposite side of the world. It's Halloween for
Okay.
them. Okay. It's like
All
our
right.
springtime, but it's like their fall. So Beltane, the veil is as thin now as it is
During Halloween.
during
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that. So there's essentially 2 times during the year where it's a veil, so it's always thin. So like let's
Yeah.
just put that out there.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a veil,
And
not a
what's
sheet,
interesting,
not a blanket.
is this woman though. I had a few women. I see apparitions here all the time, and I say, "Oh, hello," you know. I'm nice. I'm polite and respectful, and most people would be scared or wanting to do whatever you call it, you know, house cleansing or whatever. And I said,
Yeah,
"No, you can. I'm not going to send anyone away. As long as you're kind and respectful, and you don't try
yeah,
to keep me awake at night, I'm fine." Uh,
absolutely. I feel the same way. Don't bother
and
me. Don't bother
yeah,
my kid. Don't bother my animals, and
yeah, and
it's fine.
so anyway, this one was wanting to go home, and she kept making the bathroom light flash all the time. And it was like,
Oh,
okay, what's going on? What do you need? And I was working with a woman that was helping me with on my third eye,
spoiled
and
kitties, right?
making sure that I can open my third eye and use my gifts that I have.
Yeah,
You know, so I was learning how to do the walk around the house in my spirit. You know, so I can communicate with my spirits that are here.
yeah,
And so what I learned, first of all, when you do a remote view, guess what? They see you. You see
yes,
them, they see you. It's
yes,
not a one-way street, it's a two-way
yes,
street.
yes. A lot of
And that's why
people
it's dangerous
don't
when you
think
do
of
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
dangerous when you do that. So you got to be ready for
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But be respectful, don't be hateful, don't be bully,
No.
don't be a mean person.
I
You
have
you
this theory.
yeah.
I have this theory that, you ever hear people tell stories about seeing spirits, and you know, and it's like I almost have this like knowing that this is the case sometimes, at the very least. At the very least, this is the case sometimes. Is like they say when they see a spirit, it looked at me and it looked like it was shocked. like it had seen a ghost.
Yeah.
And I always think to myself, it's like the movie The Others
Hmm.
with Nicole Kidman, where they are 4444 on the clock when I'm saying this, where it's like when they see us, we are like spirits to them. It's like we just manifested in their realm. And, you know, maybe they're standing in their living room and it's 1882,
And
you
thinking,
know,
who are
and they're
these?
just standing there tending to their shit. And all of a sudden they see my freaking witchy ass and they're like, what the hell?
Yeah. So this
You know?
this woman. Okay, now
Yeah.
what?
Well,
What my?
hold on, Ron. So we got to get through the comments. We also want to say
Well,
hello to Keegan. We had a Wormheimer. He knew
I was
how
going
to
to
make.
say, I'm not sure if you guys know, but I can't see all the comments on my
yeah,
side.
that's
So
okay.
I'm
That's
okay.
why Bob
I
is
was going to
trying to
say, I'm
help.
sorry about that.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah. So I don't know what a wee mariner is. He knew how to make toast, but couldn't do it himself. But he pointed at the bread and the toaster. He repeated to get his way.
Yeah.
And
I said, spoiled kitties.
and sometimes we do daily chatters, and
Yeah,
sometimes
and they like to watch my TV when I have it on.
Spirits like to watch TV. Yeah. They like to play with my electronics a lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
And
Yeah.
so I wanted to finish
My
that
energy
story, though.
likes to play with electronics a lot. So
Yeah.
I have to watch a true story. I've been
Yeah.
I was at the store with my mom and I was frustrated and arguing with somebody on the phone, and I was
Yeah.
at the deli, and the deli scale just died. It
Went
just
crazy.
died
Yeah.
when they were weighing my stuff. And then when we got to the checkout, they got about halfway through and the whole thing just like started beeping and malfunctioning. And my mom looked right at me and she said, "Baby, you have to calm down." And I put my phone down. I took a breath. I was like, like roots, like ground, ground, ground. And I shit you not, I swear on everything I love, that freaking machine fired right back up and it didn't
Yeah.
even lose track of where it was and kept going. And we left. And my mom's like, that was wild. She's
Yeah.
like, you need to like really like, control, ground yourself. Like when you go out, if it's like that all the time. And I was like, it is.
Yeah. So I
It
had
creates a
my
stronger bond
friend.
with spirits and fear.
Oh.
I agree.
Mm.
I agree. I feel like there's something beautiful to be said about having trust and open communication with the spirits that come in contact with you as well. To push them away out of just fear. I tell people there's a difference between being startled and being actually frightened,
Yeah.
right? Because if my beloved mom, my beloved grandmother were to pop up in front of me right now, my soul would leave my body for a half a second, like, but then give myself a second to like let myself feel. Am I still afraid or am I just shook by what I'm looking at? Because there's a difference, and when people actually stop to evaluate how they're feeling vibes don't lie. Vibes don't lie. If something feels weird, it's freaking weird. It just is. Like it's off. If it feels off, it's off. You don't need to question what it is. You don't need to know exactly what it is. Just trust that it feels off and you'll figure it out later.
Yeah, and in my place, so I have this old man that works in the basement. He builds stuff. He's a furniture maker, or I always thought during Christmas time he'd be like building toys for kids, wooden toys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always hear him hammering downstairs all the time, hammer, 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 and there's nobody down there, and it's like, what is going on there, And so I had my friend that I was working with. She did a remote view of my house. I had several people do remote views of my house, and they said, "Yeah, you're seeing real things. Don't worry about
Did
it."
they say what it was?
Yeah, they described everything that I knew what it was. I didn't tell them what I was seeing at first. I just said, yeah.
Was it a toy maker, or was he more like
No,
a
this
carpenter?
is an older guy. He would be, um, he would be like in his maybe 70s or 80s, and
Okay.
he's doing woodworking for either toys or furniture or something
Um,
like that.
I heard carpentry.
Yeah,
Like that's what I heard.
yeah.
Like,
And so what's interesting is there's a now nobody knew about this until I started talking about this. There's a 10-year-old boy that's here, right?
oh, God
And
bless
he's the
him.
grandson of or maybe the son, I don't know, because I call Samuel, the old man, I call his name Samuel, that's the name I get. And so I called him Samuel, and then the
I
boy
think
is
that it's his son.
the son is Sammy or Sammy or Sam Junior Sammy. I call him Sammy, so
Mm,
little Sammy, right? So what
yeah.
I was doing one time, I was sitting here minding my own business, watching a Netflix show or something like that, and
I'm hearing that the old man's spirit didn't cross over
right,
because he was staying behind
yeah,
for
and I'll tell you
his
about that. I'll
for the
tell you about
son.
All
that.
right,
I'll
well,
tell
we
you
got
about
some
that.
more. Well, we're going to be way behind.
Bobby, we gotta get through
Well,
my story.
we're behind with the comments.
Yeah, but my story is gonna be forgotten if I don't.
Well, okay, so RL is saying when you walk on the street, right, it goes out. So, April, there are about 3 questions.
Sure.
So, have you
Okay.
ever communicated with spiders or other non-human? If so, what you happen is where your experiences.
Listen, I'm not sure who this user is. Is it Yuffie?
Yeah,
Is that how that
Oofy. Yeah,
Yu-
Oofy
Yuffie? Okay.
Altori, I think it is. It's French.
So they seem very, very intuitive and pretty awake in themselves. And it feels like they know a little bit more than maybe they know that they know, which, funny enough, that brings us into um, Claire Cognidant. Oh my gosh. Claire Cognizance. I'm not saying it again on my
Yeah,
Claire
so
cognizance, and it's just a knowing. It's not you're not hearing anything, you're not seeing anything. It's just a knowing, because when they asked specifically about spiders, um, I've actually been telling some of my close friends that lately, um, I've I've seen more spiders lately than I've seen in probably a year. Um, and they're they're like attracted to me, like, and I've like, and the last time I seen one, um I do this stuff. I will think in my mind, I'm like, hey, little one, like, please don't come any closer, like, because I don't believe in killing anything. I won't lie. If it's a fly, it's getting squashed because they're dirty and gross. And in my opinion, if you've got a lot of flies around, it's usually spiritually bad stuff, like
yeah,
tiny eyes, little spies. Like, if I'm sitting around and a fruit fly pops up in a weird place, oh no, I'm getting the Palo Santo out, and we is having a freaking time, because I'm not playing those games. So
yeah.
there's
What about
definitely times where I get a lot of birds. Birds seem to be very attracted to me, specifically a lot of crows. I have a lot of cardinals and blue jays. My neighbor sent me a message the one day saying that there was like 5 blue jays just like playing in my yard, like, and I'm like, they're not playing, like, they're territorial little assholes. Like, they were like trying to like get each other to go, but they were going back and forth, and to her, that's 5 blue jays playing over in Snow White's yard, because
yeah,
that's what my neighbors call me. There's been times where I have recordings. I have recordings on my TikTok and some on my Facebook of me, a bird like squawking, making noise, and me walking out, jokingly being like, hey, can you keep it down? My daughter has a headache. And that bird shuts the hell up. Like, it's happened. It has happened so many times that it's like, this isn't coincidental, because it's also happened where the opposite, where like I'll actually talk to it. I'm like, hey, pretty bird, did you come to get a peanut? I'm like, can you talk to me? And then they start, and they'll get quiet, and I'll say something else, and they'll go about, and we'll just go back and forth, and nobody will ever convince me that me and these birds are not communicating. Like, I don't care if I can tweet or call or not. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. They can't tell me any different.
Okay, so what about your favorite safe space? What would be your favorite safe zone?
So I tell people, I do think it's important that if you meditate and whatnot, to essentially create a safe space, like in your mind, in your third eye, in your soul, essentially, right? Like a place that when you meditate, like it's a place that you could envision. So if we're talking about something like that, I won't give like all the details, but mine consists of a meadow, and it has a little water way. There's a wood line, and all I can say is I know that I can't tell you what exactly it is, but it's always this feeling that I don't go past my meadow and my field. I don't go into those woods. It's like a linear space. It's like it's not mine or something.
Okay, so what is that one childhood event that you can be able to share that will bring a lesson upon you, like that most profound effect that comes in you?
So, okay, so as a child, okay, so this is a hard one for a lot of people to believe. Like I have videos of myself doing this, and it's like no matter how many times people will argue it, like, because they can't do it and they didn't think it was possible, so she must be doing something. I'm able to make like crystals like move without touching them by just using my energy and whatnot. And I could show you guys if you wanted, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
I was gonna say later. But I remember being a child, and my mom believed in like supernatural stuff and whatnot because our house was very active. But oddly enough, like I was always left alone. Like I was shielded and protected in a manner that everybody else in the house just didn't seem to be. Which is odd considering I'm the one that has the abilities, but I don't think anybody else was like verbally stating like, this is my space, you need to stay out. You are not welcome here. I don't want you watching me. I don't want you touching me. I don't want you talking to me. I don't want you putting things in my mind. I don't want to open my eyeballs in the middle of the night to freaking sneeze or something, or wake up to take a piss and see your fucking face.
All right, so
Like,
yeah, so does it frighten you to imagine the reality in which you may exist 40 years from now?
No.
Okay. So we got some comments from Oopie and RL. Hang a towel over the edge of your bathtub so spiders don't get trapped in it. They don't climb porcelain very well.
Oh, that's a nice little tip. I've never heard of that. That's a nice little tip.
And spiders have a mind of their own. Even if they have their way to get out of it, they may not take it. We want to say good night, Keegan. And sometimes when it comes to run, when we get like so up in chat, he likes to be, but sometimes you might have to shut his mouth and stuff. So that's why I put the bill to him. So I am so freaking sorry right now. You was gonna say something?
Yeah. So I was going back to my story about the 10-year-old boy. I could hear him running Okay. I hear footsteps and running kid like he's playing, for instance. So anyway, I'm sitting here minding my own business, and I'm in my recliner, got my arms on
Guys, I
the
will only
chair.
be able to be on here about like 15, 20 more minutes.
Yep. Okay.
That's good.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up now.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for being here,
for
though.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Anyway,
I'm an old lady these days. Not really, not really. I just turned 39 on the
I
30th,
was gonna
but
say I'm older
I've
than
been
you
up
are.
since 5:55 this morning. So this is
Oh.
it's past my bedtime.
All right, yeah. I wanted to tell you the story and about the one that I helped get crossed over. But anyway, the boy comes up and taps me on my
Thank you,
left.
Oofy.
The boy taps me on my left elbow, right, and there's nothing but a wall beside me. There's no way the boy could be there, right?
Yeah,
And I could feel him tapping me like, haha, you're it, you know.
yeah.
And then I looked to my left, and of course there ain't nothing there, just a wall. And then he's already tapping me on my right shoulder on the other side. And then
hmm
I can hear him running away. And now I have carpet. I don't have wood floor. I don't have hardwood floor.
So what you're
Carpet.
talking about, just real quick, because this is one that we didn't actually touch on, is clairsentience.
Oh,
That's the ability to feel
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Some people feel it as a touch, like you're describing, like being tapped and whatnot. Some people, for me, I'll get goosebumps. I'll get like chills.
yeah,
And weird, like I'm talking chills in places I didn't even know was possible, like my butt cheeks.
yeah. And then
Like my butt cheeks and my cheek, like my actual cheeks, like my face. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Like my face like crinkles up. It's so weird. And then as soon as I rub it, it goes away. It's
yeah,
the weirdest flipping thing. But that's like I'm like, oh, that's like the spiritual goosies there. That's something different. That's not just cold, you know. So yeah.
So
So
I sensed all this stuff though, and I thought, well, I saw two women in the other room here, and they're like wearing like dresses, you know, from the late 1800s, whatever, you know.
mhm,
And they're like they weren't really dressed up or anything. They're just wearing their everyday clothes, you know. And
mhm.
it's like I seen them, and I noticed them, and so I asked my friend
You guys
that's
don't mind if
working.
I
No,
shuffle up and
I was gonna
give a
ask you to,
message maybe
yeah,
before I go or something?
yeah. I was gonna ask you to do
Yeah.
that. But anyway, there's one woman I know that wanted to go home. She kept making the bathroom light flicker, like I said, and I said, well, you already know my friend that was here that remote viewed the house. You know where she lives actually, because that's how connected they are. You know,
Mhm.
and in the spirit, when you do remote view, they connect with you. They know exactly where you are, and there's no getting away from it. Sorry. But
Mhm.
anyway, um, they needed to get crossed over. The old man that you're talking about didn't want to get crossed over. Here's what happened. They both went to my friend's house, and she lives in Ohio. Okay, they
Mhm.
went to her house, and she's up walking around doing a house check, you know, in her spirit, you know, and checking around because where she lives, it might not be the best place for anyone. But anyway, she's walking around, making sure the house is safe. And then she sees these two people in her house. She's like getting coffee or whatever at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she
Mhm.
sees this couple in her house, the old man and the woman. And she said, "Oh, hello, who are you?" And she recognized him from my house, right? And
Mhm.
she knew the old man's name, which was Samuel. She didn't know the woman's name, and
I
she
love
said,
this because when I picked these up, this
yeah,
was the card that was on the bottom,
yeah.
and I almost took it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna shuffle anyway. And they're like,
It still popped
bitch,
up.
we told you to take that. We told you to take that, so we're gonna spit it out for you now.
I do that sometimes. But anyway, she asked him, "What is your name?" And her name is Sarah. Okay, now I kind of got that before my friend got that, but I didn't tell my friend what the name was. And so when she said her name was Sarah, and she said, "Well, what do you need?" And Sarah said, "Well, I want to go home," right?
Mhm.
And so my friend in Ohio, she knows how to do that. She's gifted in that area. She's a Reiki master, you know, level 3 or something like that. And anyway, she was able to send her to the light and send her home. Now I don't do that for just anybody, and I don't try to do it myself because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I'm not
That
going to
can
do
be,
it.
that can definitely,
Yeah.
people
And-
can definitely be playing with fire,
Yeah,
doing
so I
stuff
try
like
to be
that,
respectful.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
or
try to be respectful though, and I do send them to people that know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so the old man Sammy though
Oh, I
came
didn't
back.
mean anything by that, Ron.
No,
I'm sorry if
no,
it sounded that way. I didn't
no.
mean anything like that.
The old man came back home though, came back here, and I said, "Oh, you didn't want to leave," and pretty much the answer was no. You want to stay here? Okay, well you can stay here as long as you want. Just don't bother me when I'm trying to sleep. You know.
Mhm.
And don't
Yeah.
hurt me, don't scratch me, don't get violent or nothing
Don't
like
bully
that.
me while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, and don't be throwing my dishes out of the cabin or nothing like that. Be respectful, you
Nope.
know. And if you have any need to go home, you want to go join your family member, whoever Sarah was, you know, I'll help you do that, you know.
Yeah.
But as long as we're here coexisting, I'll be happy with you. You'll be happy with me, and I'll feel like I have somebody visiting, and I won't be alone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're protecting the house when I'm not here, you know, because they'll scare the
That's
crap
the way
out of
I look
people.
at it. That's the way I look at it. They're
The house
essentially,
spirits. House
yeah,
spirits is
yeah.
what they called them, and
I
basically
absolutely say
security.
goodbye and
Yeah,
hello,
yeah,
like to my house, to
yeah,
in general, like not just to my cats. Like when I'm leaving, I'll be like, all right, boys, I'll be back. You be good. I'll be like, okay, I'm going. Everyone be good. Get along, play nice.
yeah.
Love you. Bye.
And
You
I do
know,
it.
and when I get home, I'm like, Mama's home.
Yeah,
Like,
I do a thing called chatter sessions on my YouTube channel, which I have
spiders are fascinating. I
chatter
I'm
sessions.
terrified of them. Like
Yeah,
I don't want them on me,
I don't like
but
them
I
either.
think they're fascinating.
But chatter sessions is a thing I started 128 shows ago. Holy cow. Imagine that. So what happened is I use these ghost hunting apps, you know, on the computer, and they actually come through and they talk, and I have the speakers on the desktop, and I have my show running through the laptop. When I'm here, they're really active and they're talking to everybody, and then when I got the speakers on the desktop and I go out for a drive, then they're talking in here. So if you come in here, you hear the voices. You don't know if they're human voices or not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
I've definitely
so,
had times. I've definitely had times not only where I've seen stuff or heard stuff, but just just weird experiences altogether, like even like felt stuff like where
yeah,
I absolutely had to question like was that physical? Was that in the 3D or was
right.
that something was that spirit? One Halloween on the way back from a party, I was the designated driver, so I hadn't drank. We're driving back and we come down and it is like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's this old man that looks to be about 80 walking along the side of the road. And when I say like he didn't just like look back like to see like the car that was coming, like this man looked back and like looked right into my freaking
Yeah,
soul.
yeah.
Like I mean like when we locked eyes, like I gasped. Like it was like because it was, and he looked physical though. Like he didn't look
He didn't look like a ghost.
transparent. He
Yeah,
didn't, he looked like he was real, but like my soul knew like he's that's a spirit. Like you're not seeing a person. That's not a person. So
what is your favorite gift that you have?
um
And then you can do a card reading for the
I
whole
was gonna
group.
say probably my ability to read cards, my
Okay.
divination abilities are probably something that I'm most proud of. I am getting to a point where I feel like I won't need them. I
Yeah.
actually, to be honest, I already know that I don't need them, but I like them because it's like they validate what I'm saying. I do
Hmm.
a lot of like on TikTok. I just posted a video a few days ago. If anybody wants to check it out, it's on my Facebook. It's about 10 minutes long. It's just like a collective reading to kind of give people an idea, like a lot of times, like I'll just do it like as I'm going, like I'll be speaking of what I'm feeling and what I'm picking up on. And just as the cards come out, I will just, it's like they just continue the story. Do you get what you
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like they just fill in the blanks almost.
A
So
lot of times I would be using different cards. I have angel cards I use for Oracle, and I
mhm,
have a regular deck of tarot cards, which are actually a learning deck. But what I like about them is that you can see everything that the card means,
yeah,
And
yeah,
so when you try to explain it to somebody, they can read the card themselves
yeah.
and
That's
pick
another
up.
reason why I like them too. It's like if they don't want to take what I'm saying seriously, like you just watch that card come out.
Yeah,
Like you just watched me pull that card out of,
yeah.
you know,
No, I'm not going to
almost
do
80
reading.
cards. Like
I'm
you
not.
seen that. You seen
I'm not
that.
going to
Like,
do a reading, but I'll show you my cards.
oh, they're nice.
And then tells all about what they do and what they
They're
are,
very nice.
and
I do have a deck that I made.
there's what the
Um,
card looks like.
yeah, they're very
Yeah.
nice because they also tell you like the planets and the
It helps you
zodiac signs
understand
that they're.
what helps you understand what the connection is with that
Yeah,
card, and maybe
mhm,
to you as you're reading it, that does make sense now.
for
Where if you
sure,
just
for
have
sure.
regular tarot cards and you're reading them, and it's like, what does that mean?
1 1 1 1 across the
Yeah.
top of the screen.
Yeah.
April, I know you're. Yeah, I know it's like. Are we ready for the cards? If so,
Yeah,
I'm going to do one thing so
sure.
that everybody can see what you got.
And thank you for
Okay.
your time and your reading. Also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so funny enough, like I said when we're almost talking, when I picked up this deck, this card, Stargazer, was actually on the bottom, and I said the hell with it, and I shuffled it anyway. And they were like, "We told you, we said what we said. We
Yeah.
said to take that card."
Yeah.
So they spit that one out first and foremost. So Stargazer says to set your sights higher. Okay, if you take a look at this card, um, this person, this being, okay, because it's just that. Okay, this is the energy of star seeds. I looked up and it was 1 hour and 12 minutes and 12 seconds. So it was 1 2 1 2. So, oh my gosh, I can't even make this up. And 1 2 1 2. I had that wrote down from the beginning too. Guys, look into that. Angel number 1 2 1 2 12 12.
Okay.
So this is starseed energy. Okay, starseeds are just souls that have not always been human and have not always lived and incarnated here on Earth. They've lived in other planets, other galaxies, other realms, other avatars and whatnot. Okay, they're not human. Okay, not human. And the idea is that this being is not just like draped in the universe. They are part of the universe. Okay, they're one with the universe. Okay, so it says like whatever you've got going on in your life, or whatever is happening in your life, know that you are above these things. Like you are stronger and more worthy and more valuable to our existence than you could possibly know. Like if you are watching this, like please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, as it's a collective reading. It might not all resonate, but if I say something and you feel it, take it. There's a reason that you watch this show. There's a reason. Hold up, my cat is eating something like a damn
Oh
fool.
no.
Let me get it. Get out of here. Get. Hades. He's so bad. Okay, sorry. He was chewing on my nail file like an idiot. Anyway, so yeah, Stargazer says to set your sights higher. Like know that you are destined for great things. So don't limit yourself, okay? So many times people limit themselves, okay? It's not that their abilities don't extend. It's not that they're not capable or that they're not, in tune enough. It's that
Through fear,
they
through
don't
fear,
believe that
yeah,
they're
through
capable of
fear,
doing it.
Through fear
Okay.
and misunderstanding, right?
Right. And it's okay. So the second card is mountains, stand your ground. This is a card. So the mountains are a very like special thing. Okay. Here in Pennsylvania, where I live, we have the Poconos, and the Poconos are in the Appalachian Mountains, right? We all know about the Appalachian Mountains, and the Appalachian Mountains essentially they a lot of people theorize that they're so active because like even when we had the supposed Pangea, this mountain range was present at that time. So this mountain range is literally like older than like everything. Okay. So it's about the land. Okay. It's not so much about like, um, oh, somebody passed away in this house. No, it's the whole damn area, right? Because the mountains are a channel. Okay, they are they go up into the heavens. They touch the clouds. Okay, but they also have their caverns and their caves and whatnot. So they also go down and they root with Mother Earth. Okay, so it's as above, so below. Okay, it's very much a balanced energy, and this card is letting you know that this balance and these energies also reside in you. Okay, you have the ability to connect with Father Sky and Mother Earth. It's just a matter of learning to channel these gifts and abilities. And it says stand your ground because it's stop doubting yourself. Like if you were having any doubts, if you had abilities or anything prior to this show, absolutely. You absolutely have abilities. Like this is your sign. This is your sign. That's your sign. Like wake up. It's time. It's not just time to acknowledge that you have them, but it's time to try to exercise them. Okay. With the she-wolf energy. Okay. Unleash the wild within. It is time to exercise these abilities. Don't just be like, oh, what if I could do that? Or wouldn't it be cool if, what if you just do it?
Yeah.
You know, like what if you just try it and it works?
Right.
You know, it's like, and it's so hard to talk about this stuff because I feel like I'm like over here tooting my own horn, but it's like I have to give examples. It's like I'm able to pick up any card deck. It doesn't have to be a tarot deck. It can be an oracle deck. It can, and the difference is oracle decks are all different energies. So all the cards mean something different. You can't like, this is an oracle deck, but I've had this for years. So that's why I know what these cards mean. But it's like, I now have the ability to pick up any deck and I know what they're saying.
That's where I'm
so unleash the wild within. Okay. This is somebody who is a wild, unfettered, unapologetic. They are themselves and they are not sorry one bit about it, right? They're not afraid to stand out from the crowd. They're also not afraid to be a lone wolf and like kind of be by themselves too, if they need to be. Okay. This is just talking very much about unleashing all the potential that you have within you. Don't keep that bottled up. Okay. Guardian angel. Okay. You are not alone. Okay. Some of you may have seen feathers lately. Okay. That's like our guardian angels, business card essentially. But the thing is for me, and this is why I love, divination. I just love the craft altogether, because it is what we want it to be. Okay. Because for me, this card, even though it does in the book, it describes these beings that are with us and have been with us in every lifetime, and they've never been human. You know, they're angels, they're angelic, so they've never lived human lives, and we all understand that concept, or kind of, maybe. But if not, the facts is usually 9.5 out of 10 times when I pull this card, it's not just your guardian angels that are present, because they're always present and they never leave your side. It's also a loved one that is passed on, somebody that you are close with. I just heard masculine. Okay, so a male. Okay, male energy for some of you. Obviously, for others it's different, but I just heard masculine energy. So it's saying that you're not alone. If you've been seeing feathers, they don't have to be real feathers. One time when I first got these cards years ago, I pulled this card for myself, and I'm like, well, it's wintertime, so I doubt I'm going to see a feather anytime soon. Haha. I go to bed and I go to lay down in my bed, and my flippin' feather pillow stuck me in my cheek.
Wow.
And it was like, haha. Like, what? What'd you say? There wasn't going to be no feathers? Like, they're like, and what? Now you've got a feather splinter, like, sticking out your cheek. I'm like, that was unnecessary.
I saw a white feather on my carpet over here in the middle of winter.
They tell me too, like, to make it known, it doesn't even have to be a physical feather. Like, maybe you turn on TV and there's an ad for pillows, and there's feathers flying everywhere, or there's birds all over something that you turn on. You're watching something and there's birds everywhere and they got feathers flying. There's your feathers. Maybe you see somebody and they have a feather earring or on their necklace. It's still a feather. Okay, so if you see a feather coming up anytime soon, know that this is them saying,
wake up.
The witch told you so. April told you about that. She told you that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then the last thing here, the last card that I pulled is Sage, be devoted and committed. Okay? I would not be where I'm at if I didn't stick with what I'm doing. Okay? And this is like, and most people are like, yeah, well, no shit. Like, but a lot of people don't understand. I actually do have ADHD. So it does not come super easy for me to always contain my focus on just one thing.
Right.
I struggle. I struggle. It's a fine line. Like, I'm talking like a freaking hair, it's a fine line between, oh my gosh, I just like.
We made you bigger so that we could.
No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. Like, I just like blanked. Like, I'm. I was saying it's very hard for me to contain my focus on one thing for a lengthy time. But the facts are is when this is your calling, when this is something that is already in your soul that you've done in lifetimes before this, these things are not new inspiration. These are memories. Okay. Like, the things that you are pulled to is not coincidental. Okay. Right. The animals that your favorite animal, it's probably one of your spirit animals.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a specific animal that you've always been attracted to, if you get on Google and you put in spiritual symbolism of whatever animal, like, pull it up, like, cross-reference, look at a couple different sites, you know what I mean? Because they'll all say different things because it's somebody's interpretation, essentially, but you'll see the consistencies, you'll see, like, I have a book on spirit animals. And so it's like the stuff that we are pulled to. I had my first deck of oracle cards, which if I would have thought of it, I would have brought them, which is the fairy oracle. It's called the Fairies Oracle.
Next time.
it was in the it came out like in the late 90s at freaking Hot Topic, when we were all cool, when we went to Hot Talk.
Yeah.
Hot Topic for everything. And Spencer's, I went there and I seen Oracle cards and I bought them and I caught on quick. I was quick. I knew the
Look at
cards.
this
I
deck
was
here.
fast. Sort of
Oh,
like,
it's sort of like.
oh, Archangel, Michael.
These are nice.
Those are nice.
I won't do a reading
Yeah.
now, but I mean, if you want a reading at some point, let me know.
Sure.
So, but not tonight because you're done.
Yeah, yeah.
You're ready to go.
Yeah. I'm getting sleepy. My energy's definitely
Not that I'm
dwindling.
kicking you out, but you already said you had to go. So,
That's right.
but
So
you
yes,
stayed longer. You stayed
Does
longer.
anybody
And thank
have
you.
any
Oopie had a
last
couple of thoughts.
questions?
Oopie had a
well, we
couple
got
of thoughts.
some final comments from
Sure.
RL saying that treat TBHs as a tools for thinking, not as for
Yes.
Yes.
I tell people don't base your life on you don't need to know what color shirt you need to wear pulling a card. Make up
Right.
your own mind and let the divination be your validation and be
Yeah.
your confirmation and the little nudge that you need, right? Like you still want to have your own thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has a point about Egyptian mythology.
I absolutely love that somebody brought up Egyptian mythology because the goddess Isis is my Patreon goddess,
Yeah.
my Patreon goddess. She is the one that came to me when I first began practicing, and like not just divination, but when I started spell work and I started dabbling and stuff like that. She was the first deity to make herself known to me to the point like I can't like look past it and doubt it anymore. And then hindsight being what it was, I was obsessed with ancient Egypt back in 6th grade when we learned about ancient Egypt. So I've always been pulled in that direction. Would you like to review? I would absolutely love. I would be honored to look at a draft of a book that you have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So,
May I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you might want to friend Oopie.
Pardon me. Yes, I was gonna say. So I'll say it on here. I don't make it as an announcement because, to be honest, I don't want to be friends with everybody.
Right. I got you.
Because people can hit follow on my page and they can follow me, but to like send a friend request is different. So you actually go over to where the 3 dots are, like beside I think it's like beside the name or something. Maybe it's up in the corner of the profile. Hit the 3 dots and it will say add friend, and then hit that. And I will tomorrow.
I think I did that
after I get some sleep and I wake up. I'll go through and check. You can feel free to also message me. Let me know that you seen me on the show. So I know who you are. Because there is about 300 people sitting in friend request limbo on my page because I don't know who they are. I don't
I think we already connected with that friendship thing. Yeah.
Those I love those thoughts. Those people say differently. I brought in 2 cats over the winter because I didn't want to walk out in my alley and see a cat frozen to the freaking road.
Yeah.
So I brought these 2 cats in that were basically just like tossed out. Like literally, like I found their crate. Like there was 4 kittens total. My son's father took 2 of them. They were sick. He got them antibiotics, and I kept 2. Not because I wanted to, just because I couldn't let them die. And I have Princess Freya. She is part of my family now. But Thoth ended up going with my parents. And he's now named Mad Max. So I didn't do that.
Good.
So RL's Tahiti or Dawab is the word of pure incantations. I think that's meant for Egyptian mythology. Oopie sense your ADHD, but you master so many aspects of the challenge that will continue to improve if you so desire. So be the Lord and stick with it.
Absolutely. That's one thing that my spirituality has really helped me with is my focus and whatnot. My anxiety. I used to be again, like they thought everything was mental health, everything was depression or bipolar disorder or something. So they were always trying to feed me medicine and whatnot. I actually had electroconvulsive therapy done. It's better known as electroshock therapy done.
Yeah.
To like get off everything. And I've been off everything. And there's definitely times where I think like maybe a medication might be helpful, but then it's like, no, because I am a chaos practitioner. I am a chaos witch. Chaos magic is what I practice. It's not the art of being chaotic and being wild and reckless. It's not what it sounds like. It's just the art of doing things however I see fit. However it comes to me is the way I do it.
What
As
is
I
that
will
one?
it, so it shall be.
That one saying on your profile page, out of chaos or something. Beginning out of chaos or out of chaos and beginning or something like that.
Yeah, from darkness. From darkness comes light. Even in the Bible, it's not the other way around. Like something doesn't come from the darkness into the light. Stuff comes from, or I said that wrong. Stuff doesn't come from the light into the darkness. Stuff comes from the darkness into the light. So we are always ascending. We are always trying to go higher than what we are. Vibing high, right? So
yeah.
So
well, thank you. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and plug your stuff.
What's that, hun?
Like
Go and promote yourself. Shameless plug.
Where can you find me? So I'm a little bit of everywhere. Not really. I'm here on Facebook. You can look up my first last name, which I'm sure is on here, April Rutherford, or just put in Naturally April. Started out as I was making jewelry, crystal bracelets, just like this. I still make them and sell them. It's just not my main thing. That's just the name that I stuck with when I started doing cards and everything else. Also on TikTok, Naturally April 333. My profile is the one with, there's over 20,000 followers. I'm not sure of the exact number, but there's over 20,000 because from what I've been told and from what I know of my block list on TikTok, there's quite a few of me, at least my face in my videos. So, it will definitely be the top one. You put in Naturally April 333. And then you can also find me on Instagram. Same name, same face. Instagram, I don't have quite as many followers and whatnot. I'm also on YouTube. I just, literally in the past month, just started past 2 weeks probably, just started uploading some shorts to just get something on there because I'm hoping to start going and doing some readings, for the different zodiacs and whatnot. Start my page up on YouTube. So it's all Naturally April or Naturally April 333. That is on TikTok. You can get a hold of me. I offer energy healing and different, I'll do one-on-one, like mentoring stuff. I offer readings. Every reading that I do, I use at least 2 decks. Usually we'll use my Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck that you just watched me use, and then a tarot deck. And sometimes if I'm feeling froggy, I pull out a 3rd deck too, because Spirit tells me to. I have a deck that I made. I get that out sometimes. Basically it's just, get a hold of me. Get a hold of me and tell me what the hell you need. And I'll make it work. We'll work something out. And if I can't help you with it, I'll direct you to somebody who might be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah. A late question had to come in.
Principia Discordia. What the heck is that?
Are you familiar with Principia Discordia? Honestly, that's not a term that I'm familiar with, but immediately I just heard, like when I read that, it's like karmic law as what I pick up on. It's essentially, what it is to me. It's there's certain things that you just can't do. You can't free will, love. There's certain energies that no matter what the reasoning is, you just can't mess with it. Butterfly effect kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're over your time you wanted to stay.
Oh yeah, I'm
so
sleepy.
I want to
Yeah.
thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
You are always welcome to come back for another fun show. Whenever
I would love that. I would love that.
If you're bored and you ain't got nothing to do and you you want to join in, just let
Yeah,
me know.
yeah.
Actually, if we're live, I'm live every Friday night. So if you
Okay.
want to jump in and say, "Hey guys, how you doing?"
Okay.
Just let me know, and I'll send you the link, and we'll get you in here.
Okay.
And you're a standing guest anytime you want to. Well, sitting guest. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
always welcome here whenever you want to.
I love that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you guys so much.
I feel the positive energy that you are sharing with us here, and
I just think it's important to show people, like, witches are real. Like,
yeah.
we are real, and we do weird shit. Like,
And
there is a chance that people would walk in my house and see me like burning some weird herbs and have my crystals out and stuff, but
you know
it
what?
doesn't mean it's bad.
I'd rather have a witch that is my friend than an enemy.
Okay?
Okay?
True that.
So I know a few people that are involved with witchcraft, and they're very talented, and they are basically. You can tell that they know what they're talking about. They're not crap.
For sure. And it's different for everybody.
Reiki
it's very personal.
Witchcraft is two different things. But the thing is, each one has their purpose. Each one has their gifts that can help us.
Absolutely. Everybody has these gifts. It's just a matter of when do they show up? How often do they show up?
And now, do you think one last question before you go?
Sure.
I'm diagnosed with ADHD as well. I don't know if you could tell that, but anyway,
that's okay. I don't judge. Like, I get it.
I wasn't diagnosed with it until later, like 2009 or 10, and it was like, oh, you have ADHD, and I said, well, that doesn't just all of a sudden appear. I'm born with that, and I have to work with it through my whole life.
Right.
When I was in school,
that's kind of a bittersweet thing, though, because we've learned how to adapt.
Exactly. And
without the
when I was in school,
medications.
I had to do things. Probably I had to work 3 times harder than anybody else.
I did horribly in school. Horrible.
I'm so lucky I passed. I graduated. I got done with high school.
Same.
I went to the military, and I got done with that. And they never said anything about ADHD there. But when I got diagnosed through a psychiatrist here, he said, "Oh, you got ADHD, and you got bipolar A and B. Light levels.
Right.
Not really too strong or serious." And they said, and then basically he said, "You're effed up." That's how he said it. And he's a county doctor, he said he works for the state or whatever. And he says, "And you're effed up, but we can work with you."
If I'm being honest, I don't know that I've ever met somebody that has the abilities similar to the ones that I have or you have that is not neurodivergent and like neurospicy in one way or another. I really truly think that there is something special about the way our brains work.
We're more open
that
to
allow us that allow us to be more receptive to doing these things or making things happen, for that matter.
And see, what's interesting is you saw things. I know you saw things in my house already. You saw things, you felt things, you already know things in my, whether it was on this video or whether it was in our personal chat on Facebook. You sense things, not anything bad. You just sense energy.
Yeah.
So I think we're all spiritual. We're spirits
We are
living in a
all
physical.
divine, spiritual beings
Yeah.
living a human
And we agree with that. That's perfect.
existence or
That is
having a
perfect.
human existence. We are pretending to be human.
And it's a struggle. It's a
It is a struggle. It is a struggle
I use
because
a
many of
term.
us come from places where we didn't have anger and
Yeah.
sadness and pain
And
and stuff like that. And it's foreign. It's completely foreign.
A real thought that you want to keep in mind, and I've been using this phrase for about 5 years now. I use the phrase called eternal existence. Okay?
Mhm.
I believe I was first here on planet Earth in 850 AD.
Okay.
Now, my original name is Nikolai Janus. Now,
Have you ever looked into it?
Yeah, it's Danish or
Yeah.
that area of Europe, and my heritage is Danish.
I hear a noise.
What?
Now it just stopped. That was so weird.
Oh wow.
It sounded like something dripping.
So yeah, that's weird. And then could be my leak over here. We got rain.
No, it's raining here too. And I thought,
anyway, I we're trained things throughout life. We're trained a certain job throughout life. I was a navigator on a ship from Europe. All right, I worked for the Queen or whatever, and I was a navigator on a 3-masted, old sailing ship. Right.
mhm.
Now, I found this out when somebody had a life regression on air, and I was listening to this regression, and I was in his story, but I was a navigator on that ship.
Oh, that's neat.
Now, what happened was we're trained this throughout different life cycles. Okay. Now, in my situation, I came on the scene every single life cycle. I came on at 30 years old. I wasn't a child until this life cycle. This life cycle, I was born as a child in 1961. In the other life cycles, I was 30 years old. I lived out my life. I lived several years later. Like they went up to 90. They went up to one time I lived 110 years old. Other times I lived 90 mostly. But anyway, I as far as I got to was 1010 AD was most that I got to. There's some other things in between that, but every time I go away, I'm going away to learn. Okay.
My last name is RUTHRFORD.
Yeah, and so
I just got it, Yuffie.
That's where the blank spaces come from time, though.
Yeah.
So like I go from 850 to 890 or something like that, and then I come back and 910 and go until 990 or something like that. Come back at 1010. You know what I'm saying? So there's some blank spots there that we go off, and we are being trained or programmed, I call it, for the next phase, whatever that phase
I believe that.
is. Now, in this time,
Ron, I'm really tired.
Right. Well, we will definitely talk at another time.
Like I'm like really struggling over here. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Well, thank you for staying up late, and I appreciate it. And
we'll have
the check. We'll have your check in the mail.
I'll chat with you tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Let me get some sleep. I'll chat with you tomorrow. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate this.
You get some rest. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Blessed be.
All right. Well, that was nice. Thank you, Bobby, for helping out with that.
Yeah.
And sorry if
the questions in the comments were coming in too hot. I had to hold up. I had to tell you to hold up, and it's like, well, let's get into the comments and the questions before you continue with the story, man. What the heck?
But then you lose the flow of the story.
Well, yeah.
We can get to the questions. Just keep track of them. I mean, I know they're scrolling up, and you got to go back and find them. I get that. And
Yeah,
let's see, what does Oopie says one other thing about ADHD. What's that?
about the medication.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I think I take about a few for my ADHD in case you
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. Well, go ahead and play some promos. Play hers on the way out, as well as some of the others.
Yeah. Here we go.
Uncle, I'm trying to do a show.
And Dr. Bros reminding you that you should continue listening and watching the epic reality radio tour on your favorite device on Mixler, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Triple, Odyssey, and Rumble. And go to RUTHRFORD.com and hit that big PayPal button. Because if you do that, I'll come on my spaceship. I will beam you up. And you better pray to your God, whoever it might be, that you don't know what's going to happen to you in your wallet. We like to thank you for your cooperation.
All right, I wanted to play one more.
What's
What
this?
one did I want to play? One more. Find that one.
Was it the one with the clock down?
With the what?
The countdown?
With the what? No, say again.
Was the one with the countdown or one of our intermission transmission promos?
Play the first one. You said maybe. I like that one. Okay, that's good. All right, I think we're about done, Bobby. Hey, we almost made it 2 hours. We did good. Thank you, Oopie, for that, and I hope that you.
So
I think she saw your request, but she'll probably look at it tomorrow because she's probably
so
going to sleep.
Orlando, Goofy, Charles, Rockstar was here. Parsible, I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you need to go to the proper channels if you want to have your voice heard. So go to earthradio.com and look for intermission transmission.
But don't come on here saying that you're drunk and you're gonna be shaving whatever you're saying. I don't know what you.
Well, that's it. Because
we're not gonna accept that kind of talk when we have a real guest.
Have none of it. But if you want to go in and drink a Budweiser and do a clean shave, you're not welcome. You're not welcome. So also get out of here.
Yeah, we didn't need that, and I deleted the comment when I saw it. So, but I'm trying to have a good conversation with our friend.
Yeah. So it's either you apologize or just get the hell out of here.
Well, no, I know that, Oofy, and I was keeping the guest engaged, and she did stay engaged. And she was seeing the spirits in my house. Actually, when I was trying to explain the spirits, she mentioned about the old man not wanting to go cross over, and that's why I had to share that story about the old man and the woman going to my friend's house. Okay, that was part of what she was talking about, what she saw. Okay, so I was clarifying what she was seeing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all.
Yeah.
So, but that's why that story was important. Okay, so, but I thought I did better. I let her do most of the talking. And Jimmy Fallon's having a dog race like the Kentucky Derby race. The puppy predictors they're going to predict which horse is going to win.
Oh my gosh.
If you got NBC, you can take a look at that.
Yeah.
They're gonna let the dogs out, open the gates, and dogs are gonna run crazy to the food, and one that wins. Yeah, it looked like the red one. Yeah,
Oh, then I missed it. Crap.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. Was it number 2? Wait a minute. Wait, no, it was the red one. Hey, Craig, how you doing? All right. I hope you were able to watch part of that and enjoy it. And if you were talking on Facebook, we missed you completely. Sorry about that. She did do a group reading for everybody, so that was nice of her to do that. And she wanted to do that right before she checked out. So anyway, we're out of it for now. Thank you. And Craig, if you're ever awake enough and you want to be a guest on the show on Friday, let me know, and we can talk about all kinds of stuff that you like. All right, you just shoot me a message and we'll get you on. Free of charge, no cost. So, but April was a fun guest, and she'll be back, I think. And I told her she has a seat whenever she wants to join us. She's welcome. So if she's bored and she ain't got nothing else to do, she wants to join in, or she has a share message. Definitely jump on and say hi and share a message. And she doesn't. She won't have to stay the whole show if she doesn't want to. Bobby, at the beginning, I noticed that it said it had trouble streaming to YouTube.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was able to see it. Because,
I clicked out of it and it was fine. It still worked. I guess it worked on YouTube, but it was here on YouTube watching it. So, um, yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, Craig Ansel, you can catch him on Sinister Mysteries every other week, basically twice a month. So he's not done doing shows at all. He's just done doing Three Beards on a regular schedule, primarily due to life gets in the way sometimes, and I can understand that. But we are about done here, Bobby. How about if we close out?
yeah, let's get out of here, Vic.
We're at almost 2 hours. Hey, we did good. We're almost there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are out of here. Bye for now, and see you next time. Have a great weekend.
Yes. See you next time. Thank you for watching.